Welcome to the product tutorials on creating timesheet periods in Replicon. I'm now logged in into the Replicon instance. In order to create a new timesheet period, go to Administration and click on Timesheet Periods available under the Timesheet section. Timesheet periods determine the length of a user's timesheets. They should be parallel either to your organization's pay periods or the billing cycle so that timesheet data is available when needed for generating payroll or for invoicing clients. As you can see here, there are three tabs: System, Employee Type, and Department. Timesheet period can be created for specific employee type, for a particular department, or for the system. We recommend that you use a single system timesheet period for all users. A system timesheet period is assigned to a new user by default. If you change this to employee type or to department, the user's setting for the employee type or department field in their user profile will determine the specific timesheet period that will be in effect. In order to add a new timesheet period, click on Add Timesheet Period button. As you can see here, the first field specifies the period type. Let's look at them in detail. The first is a weekly timesheet period. This specifies the length of the timesheet in 1 week or the 7-day period. You can determine the first day of the week, as you can see here, and then the effective date on which this timesheet period will be in effect. The next is a bi-weekly timesheet period. This specifies the length of the timesheet to be 14 days or bi-weekly. Again, you can specify that the first day of the week would be, and you can specify the effective date on which this timesheet period will be effective. Moving on, the next is semi-monthly. In the semi-monthly timesheet period type, you can specify the length of the timesheet to be 15 days. We give you the leverage to determine which day or date the timesheet period should start from, whether it should be the 1st and 16th or the 2nd and 17th, and so forth and so on. You can then decide the effective date when this timesheet period will be into effect. Moving on, the next is the monthly timesheet period. This gives the length of the timesheet period to be 30 days or 1 month. You can specify the initial day of the month by specifically mentioning a number here, whether it'll be the 5th day or the 7th day or the 9th day. You can specify any number here that will correspond to the initial day of the month. You can then specify the effective date when this timesheet period will take into effect. Moving on, the next is a manual timesheet period type. There can be instances when you would want a certain length to be repeated over the period of time. The length that you specify here would be repeated till you bring into effect a new timesheet period. So in case I specify the start date to be 21st of January and the end date to be 22nd of January, the timesheet length of 2 days will be repeated unless you get a new timesheet period type into effect. You can also mention the start date and the end date to be same. In this scenario, there will be a timesheet of 1 day each available unless a new timesheet period type is available or is into effect. Moving on to the last type, weekly end of month. This ensures that your timesheet ends on the last day of every month. It will lengthen or shorten the time of each timesheet in the start and the end of the month, depending on the starting or the ending or the last on the first day of each month. Every timesheet period in such scenario will have at least or a minimum of 4 days. This was how to add a new timesheet period into the system. Thank you for watching the video. You can now get in touch with Replicon through Replicon Community. In order to access the Replicon community, on the home page, click on Customer Zone. On the Customer Zone page, choose Community. You can now sign in or register and start posting your queries, ideas, or questions, and one of our product management team members or the Replicon employees will get in touch with you immediately.